Hi there, my name is Kate Vegan, and in today's video, we're going to talk about what I would do as a vegan slash plant-based eater if I wanted to lose 10 pounds of fat in the next 3 months. And it's going to be sustainable, so the results are going to sustain you, you're not going to gain the weight back, and you're actually going to enjoy the process. Let's get right into it. Okay, so as you can see, I had my own weight loss transformation. That's why I'm making these type of videos because I'm passionate about how much it changed my life and how much it's going to change your life. So, yeah, I want to make sure that you know that the focus for this video is losing fat. It's not on exactly how to build muscle. I can do that in another video, but the primary focus is going to be sustainable fat loss and minimizing muscle loss too during that process. But if you were trying to lose fat and build muscle at the same time, it would be a slightly different protocol that I'd recommend, just slightly. But this is pretty much the basics for also building muscle at the same time. If you were trying to build muscle at the same time, you would just add in like more calories and focus more on the training and progressive overload and higher protein. So yeah, once I got that out of the way, let's get right into it. Next. Okay. So you might be wondering, like, 3 months for you, that might seem like a lot of time, like, no, I want to lose weight faster, or it might be too soon. Like, wow, 3 months, 10 pounds in 3 months. That's a lot. And I would say it is a lot because it takes a change in your life to create that change. But there's two types of people. The person type 1 is people that want to take their time losing weight. And this video will still benefit the people that want to take their time losing weight. It'll just be more so centered for the people that want results ASAP and are willing to like put in the work and like track and make sure that they will hit that goal within 3 months. But still in a healthy way. We're not going to be doing crash diets where you're going to feel horrible all the time and not enjoy your meals, because that's no way to live, and I don't do that. So let's get right into it. I already said that, but okay, the main priority, I promise you I'm not on caffeine. I just get like amped up for these videos because I love talking about this. Okay, the main priority for fat loss is the calorie deficit. Fat is stored energy. So when you're trying to lose fat, it's basically like you're taking in less energy than you're burning. And we have to be intentional with this calorie deficit, because if it's too big of a calorie deficit, it's going to be unlikely that you're going to stick with it. And over time, your body will not be in a calorie deficit. You'll be in the same or even gaining weight if you're not knowing your calorie deficit. And that could be through eating less calories or burning more calories. So, doing a little bit more walking or um, strength training and eating less calories. You could do a combination, you could do one or the other, but I recommend a combination just because that usually feels the best. Do a little walking and eat a little less. It's the least resistance, I would say. But it all depends on the person and their lifestyle. So, tip number 1, or the first thing I would do, is I would get my food. Because if you don't have food, then you're just going to be eating whatever you can find. So that's actually what I did when I first went vegan. I went and I stocked up, because the easiest way to go vegan is to have vegan food. To practice, put those beliefs into practice. But anyways, this is the first thing I would do if I were you too. I would make sure I have enough whole plant foods and also plant proteins. Because you already know what the whole plant foods are: fruits, veggies, herbs, mushrooms, like things like that. But the higher calorie and more like things that will fill you up that you really do need are like rice, beans, lentils, bread, rice noodles, I love, oats, chickpea pasta, nut seeds, um, nut butters, things like that. Tahini, I love tahini, which is basically just a sesame seed like butter that you turn into like a creamy sauce. That's really good. And you want to make sure you have these things at your house, because if you don't have it, you're going to be starving and you're going to be like, I want to go to the drive-thru, or something like frozen, or like something low effort, because we need to have the foods that give us good nutrition when we are hungry. Because when you're hungry, you're going to go for the least resistant thing. And if you already have your bread, you already have like avocado or something quick that you know how to make, it's going to be so much easier than if you don't have that. Because if you don't have that, like, yeah. Anyways, I think you get what I mean. Plant proteins, because those are important for staying full, like extra firm tofu, seitan, lean mock meats. And by lean, I mean it's not high in sugar or oil, it's mostly just the protein. If you look on the nutrition facts, also tempeh and protein powder. So plant proteins like that, there's other things that you could add to that, I guess, like vegan yogurt, like vegan Greek style yogurt, roasted edamame, which is what I have listed as one of the snacks. Like fruit, protein bars, like vegan protein bars can be good. Roasted edamame, like I said, vegan yogurt, tofu pudding, which is something I make. So you just want to have the right foods so that you can eat a healthy diet. And then how we're going to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit, which is the main driver of fat loss, is if you're serious about, getting these results, you want to lock in the tracking. And this isn't as hard as you think. I'm going to make a video in the future about how to use this app, because this is the main app I use. It's called Chronometer or Cronometer, I don't know. But you basically just like write in what you eat, and the serving sizes. And then you could also add in your nutrition goals for the day. So let's say we calculated like how many calories you should eat, how much protein you should eat for your goals. And then you enter that into the app. And then each day you just make sure you hit that goal. And the main things that we're looking at for those goals for fat loss in particular is the calorie deficit, which is through eating less food or through doing more movement. Because in this app, you could not only track food, you could also track like the calories you burn through exercise. So it's about balancing that energy, not balancing, but also being in a deficit. If you're trying to maintain, you would want to balance the calories you're taking in and the calories you're burning. And that's the app will tell you exactly, if you put in like the right information, like your body weight, it will come up with how many calories you're burning at maintenance. And then based on how quickly you want to lose the fat or whatever your goal is to build muscle, we would type in the calories that you would eat for that goal, and also how much protein you should eat. And then you will know, okay, in 3 months, I'm going to lose around 10 pounds because I'm having, like, let's say a 400 calorie deficit daily, and 3,500 calories is 1 pound of fat. So if you do the math, a 400 calorie deficit every day is a 0.8 pounds of fat per week, and per month, I don't know what that math is, but you do 0.8 times 4, and then 4 times 3, which is 3 months, and then that's like around 10 pounds. So yeah, it's basically just coming down to this energy, like eating less of that energy so that your body is burning it off. Does that make sense? I know you can't talk back, but okay. Meal prep. This is also going to help you just to prevent being really hungry, because just being hungry and not having those groceries, not having meals that you can make easily or meals already made, it's going to make it easier for you to fall off track, right? So you could do something called meal prep, where you prepare these meals in advance, like the exact meal that you're going to eat. And it does help, like you don't have to have the exact macros planned ahead of time. But it just helps in general to have this food ahead of time. But it also does help even more if you know, okay, like this container has whatever, for in the example, 500 calories and 33 grams of protein, and then you just need like 3 of those type of meals in a day to be around your daily goal of like 1800 calories and whatever protein. So it just makes it easier. But you don't have to do this. I'll tell you more about that in the next slide, like what you can do if you're not going to do this. Because this does take time to like cook the meals ahead of time, and some people prefer their food to be more fresh. So if that's you, just I'm gonna say one more thing and then I'll go to the next slide. And you could also, so you do this so that you eat it throughout the week and you save time. Instead of cooking each individual meal, you just make like a bunch of servings at once. So that can help um, a lot of people with if they're interested in that and have like a busier lifestyle. And then you could also eat those leftovers throughout the week or freeze the meal and you could have it anytime pretty much. I mean, you have to look up like how long does this last in the freezer. But I would probably, yeah, it just depends on the meal. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. And then if you're not meal prepping exact servings, you could, like I do this a lot. I don't always meal prep, and it's not like it's keeping me from, you know, maintaining my fat loss. So it's not like you have to do the exact serving size meal prep, but it really can help and, help you prevent getting super hungry, and just make it so that you're cooking less and cleaning less, which is important. So if you're not meal prepping, you could just track your food throughout the day and then eat the foods that will help you hit your nutrition goals. Like you track your breakfast, you make your breakfast and then you track it. And then you go out to eat or you make another meal and you track it and then you're like, okay, I have like 500 calories to go. I have to eat like 30 more grams of protein, and then you just do it. You find what you have and then you just do it. That's like, more spontaneously eating, which a lot of like which is what most people do, and that can also work. Just as long as you're hitting the nutrition goal, that's really just all that matters. So I do recommend though, like if you don't prepare the exact serving sizes, I always recommend have some foods ready to go on hand, like cooked rice, bread that you could just toast and make a meal quickly, cooked seitan, cooked tofu, TVP, mock meat, something that you can like make a meal quick for when you're hungry, because we want to minimize cravings and also just make sure you're getting in the nutrition that's going to keep you full so that you're not going to get super hungry. Like I see a lot of my clients, they will undereat for breakfast, they'll like skip a meal and then they'll get super hungry later, and then they just go for the meal that tastes the best or like has a lot of calories, and then it's usually low protein, so then they're low energy. So it's like that's why it's important to eat enough throughout the day. And I'll get into that later. Like I said, you want to have intentional, good tasting meals and snacks spread throughout the day so that you prevent getting super hungry and you keep your metabolism and your energy levels stable. And you want to eat enough of the meal, so that's why it does help to track so that you know that each of your meals are enough calories. Because it can be easy, especially on a plant-based diet, to underestimate or overestimate how many calories is in a meal. Like veggies are so filling, beans are so filling that sometimes it's easy to think that you're really full, but you didn't eat enough calories at all. And then that's why you get cravings later. It's because you just underate and you didn't know. And also it does help to not have like junk foods, which basically just low nutrition foods and snacks around. Foods that are like filler foods. They taste good, but they don't give you much in return. Like things like chips, cookies, like those are good in moderation. And you can still eat them like if you're tracking and still hitting your nutrition goals. But we all know that it's not the nutrition staples. So, and it's not usually good for weight loss because they can also be addictive. They just taste really good. And you could also make the healthier alternative to like those foods too. And then over time, as you're tracking, you just want to build consistency with tracking. Like this chart over here is like how many calories I've eaten for a long time. So I've been tracking for a long time. I just started this year, so it's not really like that long, but it's just really helped me build muscle because um, it's easy to undereat. Like a lot of people underestimate how easy it is to undereat, and then you get super moody and tired, and um, you want to make sure you're eating enough protein too. So that's why I track too, and to make sure that you're for your goals. Like if I want to build muscle, I would want to make sure I'm doing this so that that happens. Like, eating more calories, more protein. Um, so yeah, and then you would also track your exercise in there. So um, this app Chronometer is linked to my phone's steps, like the Apple Health steps. So it automatically inputs the calories I burn from my steps into this app, so I can see. Let me show you. So it can tell me how much I'm burning versus how much I expended. Like for example, today it'll tell me like, okay, I had this much today. I'm obviously not done eating, and then this much is the expenditure. So and then it tells you, are you in a deficit? Are you in a surplus? So it tells you exactly like what you're working with. And I also track my lifts using an app, and that app is connected to this app, the Chronometer. So that will also input like how many calories I burn from doing the weightlifting. So I make sure I refuel my body, and I'm eating the correct amount for my goals. And also, I know this can feel like a big change for you if you're not used to it. So that's why the meal prepping does help, because if you have the meals in advance, you could just easily log the meal. Like you could actually input in this app like, this is my meal, and then like name the meal, and then whenever you eat it, you just say, okay, I had this meal. So that's another way to make it easier and faster. But I follow the 80-20 rule to not go crazy. I still enjoy really good food, and I still love food. I always love food, but I mean like eating out. Like I'm still a foodie. I still love to go to vegan restaurants, and I do that usually like 1 to 2 meals a week. Um, if I want, some days, some weeks I don't. Um, but usually I try not to go more than that, just because a lot of the meals at the restaurants can be, just like optimized for taste rather than nutrition or my goals. Like it's usually low protein, especially the vegan restaurants. And yeah, I just try to avoid super oily or sugary food. But if I eat that, like it's not the end of the world. Um, I just try to track it, and sometimes it's off. I'm not perfect with tracking. I don't track everything perfectly, but I just estimate it when I'm eating out, and because usually it doesn't tell you like the calories and everything on the menu. Some restaurants do though, that's good. But yeah, I just estimate, and I don't like stress out about it. Okay. For the exercise part of weight loss, doing walking can really add to your daily calorie burn. So instead of eating less, you could just go for a walk for however long, and that'll also add to your calorie burn. Um, this also helps you preserve muscle mass during the fat loss, because during fat loss you do lose different like fat, and you can lose some muscle too. So walking helps like your body keep some muscle. And you could walk at the gym, at the treadmill, or outside, or on a home walking pad. Like I like to walk outside, especially in the summer, and it's just really good for your health too. Obviously, walking, it can be fun and get fresh air if you're outside. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you like exactly how often you should walk or how often I should walk, because this isn't my goal. I'm not trying to lose 10 pounds right now, so I'm not doing the exact calculations. But for you, it depends on your goals and how many calories you burn during walking. And then also, strength training does help build muscle. This is not strictly necessary for fat loss, but it does help if your end goal is to have like more aesthetic looking body, and also just feel strong, have stronger bones. If you're a woman and you want an hourglass figure, um, doing strength training will help you achieve that. And it also helps with your blood sugar, helps with your metabolism, helps with aging. So like I just strongly recommend this. And it can help with fat loss even more than walking, because it does help your body hold on to more muscle, And if you were trying to build muscle at the same time as losing fat, you could do that. Um, so depending on how often you're strength training, you might want to eat a little bit more. So your exact nutrition goals, depends on you, your goals, and your plan, like how much you're going to walk or how much you're going to strength train, and how much is realistic for you, how much feels good for you. And yeah, like I said, I use this app to track my lifts to see if I'm getting stronger, which is what helps you build muscle, is if you're progressively overloading. And it also like marks down the days that I go to the gym. So that helps me stay consistent, because I go to the gym like I aim for like 2 to 3 times a week. So that just helps me see it on a calendar, and then I could say, okay, I have to go another time this week or something. So daily goals for losing 10 pounds of fat in 3 months, I would say you got to hit your food goals, or food/nutrition, and then your exercise goals every day. And obviously, you might not be exercising every day, but you are going to be eating every day, obviously. So I would track that every day. And some days, obviously, you're not going to track your exercise because you took a rest day or something. But I would make sure that the exercise is logged in the app too. If you're walking that day, or strength training. Right now for me, it's like automatic, because I only use these two apps, and also my Apple Health just tracks my steps for when I'm walking, and my phone detects it. So that's pretty like automatic. Um, so basically every day I just do track my food, and then like sleep enough, avoid drugs or smoking, because that can also just lead you down a bad path and make you, hurt your mental health. And then get accountability, be nice to yourself. These things will all help you. And try to enjoy the process, and make sure you're eating good food that tastes good, good recipes, and try not to feel like restricted. And if you do, it's important to like address that with your coach or whoever you're working with, or just find a way to enjoy it, because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick to it. And then weekly goals is, for me, I tell my clients to attend our check-ins, because if you're not checking in, like, are you making progress, um why wouldn't you check in? But they do. So, and then also stay stocked up on groceries, which you already do. And um if we're already like putting in the time to stay stocked up on groceries, we might as well make sure that it's the right groceries for the life we want to live. Like, we want to be healthy, we want to be strong, we want to prevent diseases, and we want to feel good. So that's why I put that on there. And also meal prep or cook in batches, that will help you a lot. And then strength training, like I said, however often is right for you and your goals, and rest enough, in between each time you work a specific muscle group. And then every week or bi-weekly, I tell my clients to do like progress pictures, weigh yourself, measurements to know like, are you making progress with the fat loss or not? And then you can course correct if something is off. So yeah, that's it. You gotta lock in, twin. And yeah, this is why you should get accountability, like from someone like me, from a coach, because most people in your life don't care if you make progress or not. I've seen this so many times. People really like, they nobody is gonna put you first except for you. Everyone puts themselves first, their own emotions, how you make them feel. People might try to sabotage you. It's kind of sad, where people want you to just like, oh, just like eat this or that, and you'll be like, oh, but I'm on my fitness journey. So try not to get mad at people for just, trying to influence you to eat something or go drink or something, because no one can control you, right? This is your life, and you're gonna do what you want ultimately. Also, going with the flow is just easier than implementing new routines. So when you have someone every week to tell you like, hey, did you do this? You got to do this if this is your goal. It really helps. And you also might just forget all of what I just said. But you can always replay the video and reference back. But if you were interested in getting accountability and working with me for one-on-one coaching, you can click the link in my description box of this video where you can apply, and we can talk on the phone and see if this is a right fit for me to work with you. And yeah, I hope you gained something from this video, and I hope you have the best time on your fitness journey and you reach all your goals. And reach out to me if you have any questions and if you need help. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for the next video. All right, bye.